Hello, comrades, and welcome back to another episode of Ushanka Show, stories about life in the Soviet Union. Здравствуйте, дорогие товарищи! В эфире программа Ushanka Show, истории про жизнь в Советском Союзе. My name is Sergey, and back in 1971 I was born in the USSR. Меня зовут Сергей, и в 1971 году я родился в Советском Союзе.
Copyright claims are a capitalist phenomena. It's very clear that the sole purpose of your channel is to slander the USSR in the image of socialism and communism. You do this behind a very believable facade of honesty, but your strong bias is clear to anyone who knows better.
Don't you love these comments? They're so passionate. It's like adding some spice to my bland, long and boring videos. Thanks again, Lisha from Finland, who's helping me on these comments. So recently, one of my viewers posted quite an interesting question under my video, A Soviet Teenager Discovered Capitalism. Oh my goodness, I want everything foreign included. Question for you, Sergey. Now that you live in the US, after living in the USSR, how necessary were all those goods and electronics to make you live a happier life? That's a very good question, and I'll attempt to answer it, so I'm just warning you, it's going to be another long and boring blah 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 video. Well, first of all, after I thought about it, I changed a lot. I just turned 50 a couple weeks ago, so with years, the whole attitude towards life changed. I would say I'm more after experiences right now than after things. Of course, when I was younger, it was a little bit different. When you don't have anything, then of course you're after the things. Because, then after you got the things, then you look into the different fields. That's the human nature. You never get satisfied. Like a long time ago, I made a video about bananas in the Soviet Union. Actually, it was my experience of carrying a parcel with bananas when I was in the village. If you didn't watch that video, you're not familiar, we only could buy bananas for the short period of time in the summer. They were showing up at the stores, usually in the big cities like Kiev, Moscow, maybe for 2 weeks or so. They were quite expensive. I need to look up the price, but they weren't cheap. And there were huge lines of people. There was big deficit. And for me, that was the biggest present my parents could make, because they showed up around July. And my birthday is in July. So my parents will get in line and purchase a couple of kilos of bananas, and then they ship it me in the parcel to the village. And that was it made me super happy. Eating those bananas, that was slice of heaven. But after living in America for over 20 years, and bananas then became everyday item in the stores after collapse of the Soviet Union. I don't buy bananas often, although I used to just die for them. Once in a while, when I remember the story, the background, I just smile. Look at the price, 49 cents a pound. I don't know, it'd be $1.50 or something per kilo. And, to remember all the struggle my parents went through to buy some bananas for their little kid. But access to bananas, it didn't make me happier now. It's just part of life. It's definitely, I think as the word would be fulfilling. I can buy those bananas anytime I want. I might just sometimes take my time eating the banana, thinking about those days when every banana was so precious. And there's I have a silly example of when you finally get access to something that you always wanted and it didn't really make you happier life for you. And when I was a teenager, didn't have a girlfriend yet, I'll be riding the bus or tram and I'll see a couple in love, So a guy will be sitting in the seat and a girl will be sitting on his laps. And I'll be looking at them and I'll be so envy, just oh my God, how amazing it would be to sit like that and have this beautiful girl sitting on your lap. You feeling her warmth of her body, you hug her, just my fantasies would go wild. And I was so envy and so wanted to have exactly the same experience. Okay, and that is funny. So my very first girlfriend, Sveta, I couldn't make her to sit on my lap she was always standing in the public transportation because she didn't want her pants to have knee stretched, the knee part. She was really particular about her clothes. She had really nice clothes and she wanted them to last for a long time, so she would never sit down in the bus or in a tram. So no matter how hard I tried to convince her, hey, I wanted this experience of my girlfriend sitting on my lap, she would never do it. Or maybe my girlfriend just considered sitting on the boyfriend's lap in a public transportation as a form of PDA. I had to learn that abbreviation, public display of affection. So it never happened with first Sveta, but then I had a second Sveta, and I was lucky there. So yeah, one time we were on a tram, don't remember going where, but I know I saw an empty spot, and I was like, I sat there and I pulled her, and she plumped on my lap, and my happiness lasted probably less than a couple of minutes. Then I realized how heavy it actually is to have a girl. I mean, she wasn't a big girl, but I realized, like, oh my goodness, this is not that comfortable. It doesn't feel as good as it looks like. So that was first and the last time when I tried that. So, after I got access to that particular situation, I mean, it made me happy for a short period of time till I realized there is a side effect. So I always think about it, how I was drooling over that scene, and then when I experienced it, it was like huge disappointment. But when it comes to electronics, if you read my book, American Diaries 1995, I described that scene when I first time got into Best Buy. I thought, like, I died and went to heaven because all that electronics, all those cassette players, compact disc players, amplifiers, you name it, stereo systems, all was there. And the fact that I could afford to buy, I mean, not all of it, but individual pieces, because at that time I already, work at the farm and made some money. And that was a great feeling. Like, I felt so good. I guess I could say I felt happy because not just see the thing, also you could buy it. I ended up buying a Sony compact disc player. I think it was like $200 or something like that. Don't remember now. It's in my book. And I brought to Ukraine. I used it for a couple of years, and then I resold it for more money than I paid for in America. So that moment when I was at the Best Buy, and I'm kind of electronics guy, so besides that feeling fantastic just to be looking at all that cool stuff, the thought that I can buy anything here, it made me very, very happy. And actually it's kind of funny, but currently I have quite a nice selection of older vintage electronics items. When I used to do moving here in Michigan, I picked up random, LP player here, amplifier there, cassette player here. I didn't pay anything for them, but I have like I believe it's a Pioneer brand amplifier, that aluminum one, shiny one. I have a Harman Kardon cassette player. I have a Technics LP player, Audio Technica equalizer, and they just sit in my office. I barely use it, but once in a while I look at it like, oh my god, if I had those things back when I was 18, 17, I would think I died and went to heaven. Now it's just like it's there. I use once in a while, but definitely not like I have an extremely happier life, but it's fulfilling. I have it. And, I didn't have to pay for it, but, if I could turn back time and take those items back into the Soviet Union, into the 80s, that'll be really happy moment for me. I mean, you can look at it like when you're thirsty, all you can think of is water, and it's just all you have on your mind, water. Once you get that water, you're not thirsty anymore. I mean, it didn't make you happy, you're just comfortable. So that's pretty much what happened to me, since I have access to all these goods and electronics, and I still have kind of this Soviet attitude. I hate wasting money on food. I mean, I eat well, but I hate when going to some super fancy restaurant and spend a lot of money on some fancy dishes, because my thought process okay, You put this food in your mouth and it's gonna come out of the other hole. It's always this brown, nasty, smelly substance. So what's the point to waste, $200 on the meal when it's gonna come out just as stinky and nasty, just the same as you eat at home, borscht. And of course, I would like to add that I was looking at Quelle catalog, that was probably 1985, so I still was in school. I wasn't earning any money, so I didn't have anything except this old Visna cassette player that my parents had. Later on, when I went to college and I had a decent stipend of 50 rubles a month, and since I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't waste money, I was saving. I ended up buying, I had a pretty decent speakers, I had nice amplifier, cassette player, everything. So I actually managed to, it was all Soviet made, not as good quality as Sony or Technics or Nakamichi, my goodness. But I had a pretty decent electronics. I wanted to have better ones, but I had it pretty good just because I was careful with my money and I purchased good stuff. Well, that's all I can say about that. Thank you very much for watching Ushanka Show. If you like this video, please don't forget to like it, share with your friends, post the comment, and we'll talk to you soon. До свидания. Goodbye. Is available at the Ushanka store at teespring.com. Just a friendly reminder that my book American Diaries is available on amazon.com, or shoot me an email if you would like to have a signed copy. Thank you. And if you love my channel and would like to show your support, please click on the link below this video and become the patron of the Ushanka Show. For as little as $1, you can help us grow and create the new interesting videos about the life in Soviet